666.
The Qatar World Cup ticket sales near $3 million. Ticket sales for the Soccer World Cup are approaching the 3 million mark ahead of the tournament kicking off in Qatar on November 20th. FIFA President Gianni Infantino and event organizers said on Monday the top 10 purchasing countries of the 2.89 million tickets sold so far, and that number is going up, are Qatar, the U.S., Saudi Arabia, England, Mexico, the UAE, Argentina. That's a good effort by Argentina. France, Brazil, and Germany. FIFA's World Cup chief operating officer Colin Smith told a news conference in Doha recently.
I got a buddy that goes to every World Cup. He's from Colombia, and it's like a thing that he and his friends do, and it's really crazy because the last one was in Russia, and this one's in Qatar, and he's going. It's been quite the journey for Qatar since winning the bid in 2010. Dealt with a lot of headaches, corruption allegations, claims of, quote, buying the World Cup. We all remember that. Treatment of migrant workers has also been in the spotlight. The timing of the event in the summer versus winter, whether or not they're going to serve alcohol, whether or not they can finish these stadiums on time, if the stadiums are going to be air conditioned on the outside. I mean, there has been so much. And the only point that I want to make here, it's cool that it seems like it's going to be coming off well. Good for Qatar. I think that if Saudi Arabia is bidding for the World Cup in 2030, there's a lot of lessons learned here just by looking over to your neighbor and seeing some mistakes and some steps they made that maybe won't be repeated. So very interesting and good for Qatar.
That's a good wrap up because it's a lot's in the balance for Qatar, and it could go wrong, go right, could go wrong. I mean, there's obviously there's human rights issues. There's people, for example, the Danish team is going to wear black in support of labor. The labor situation in Saudi Arabia. 8 of the European Union EU teams are going to have sort of rainbow LGBTQ something on their jerseys in support of. And the question is how will all this play out during this FIFA World Cup? And you've got what 1.2 million people going to be coming for all this. You've got 64 matches. You've got people who are going to want to drink. You're going to have people who want to be openly, displaying alternative lifestyles. It's a lot of things, at the granular level could go wonky, and how that'll be covered by the press.
Mm-hmm.
So
they'll focus only on that. Yeah. I mean,
yeah. And so this is going to be a fascinating thing. And I think you're right. Saudi Arabia is watching closely to see what the takeaway is and how to maybe avoid these things if they do, in fact, get the go ahead to host a FIFA World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Some people helping out. It was interesting. UK banned over 1,300 people from even trying to go to the FIFA because they're known hooligans and that sort of thing. But but it's going to be interesting for the whole region. Thousands of fans are going to be staying in neighboring countries. They're going to be trying to get there. The housing is going to be a challenge. Security is going to be a challenge. I think it was interesting, and there's Qatar has invited security forces from Turkey, Pakistan, Morocco, and Britain, as well as advisors from the FBI and France to bolster its capabilities. And it's also, trying to lock down its cybersecurity situation. This is after close to a decade of preparation. Here it comes. It's here, and it's make or break, and hopefully it will go, with as few incidents as possible, and Qatar will get what it wants out of it. And but as you say, it's fraught, and there's a lot of issues just into the run up, much less just the actual execution of it.
And it is a really expensive undertaking. I don't have a price tag in front of me, but it's got to be just astronomical. Aside from any alleged briberies that were paid to get it in the first place. But
Right.
I mean, it's just, and then you have these stadiums that will be there. You have this housing that will be there. They're hoping that this sort of creates a new industry, and we've seen some reports, Richard, recently from places like Knight Frank and other real estate consultancies and advisors that sort of have talked about the impact of this just on Qatar and hotels and everything. So just really interesting. Yeah. Go United States. Let's see some victories here from the U.S.
I hope they can catch lightning in a bottle, because they've displayed actually nothing that would suggest that they're going to have a run. But sure, I absolutely hope so.
I'm just surprised they're in it, to be honest. So.
Well, it's true. I'm just glad to be here.
Just glad to be here.